Cristiano Ronaldo has just signed for Saudi Arabian side Al-Nassr on a 2.5-year deal. He'll be making 200 million euros a year, including all the commercial deals. And this is by far the highest salary ever paid to a professional footballer. Before we analyze how Ronaldo will play in the Al-Nassr team, let's briefly analyze why Ronaldo made this move. Since the deal was just announced today, for those of you that aren't caught up, I'll put up quotes from both sides on the screen now. To understand why Ronaldo said yes to Saudi, we have to look at why he forced his way out of Man United. He wanted to play UCL football elsewhere, and United didn't let him leave in the summer. By terminating his contract, he would make it cheaper for a UCL club to sign him on a free transfer, reduce his wages as needed, and he could add to his UCL tally and prove himself yet again. Unfortunately, what ended up happening was either he didn't get any UCL offers, or he did get them and they weren't appealing enough for him to say yes. So Saudi at this time seemed like the best deal on the table. And I say this with no emotion. Yes, I'm a United fan, and it was terrible to see a legend like him leave the club like that. But ultimately, I'm happy to see that he got what he wanted, and sad to see that he won't be playing in Europe anymore. And this is not all bad for CR7. He will obviously make generational wealth despite how rich he already is. It might make club ownership easier for him once he retires with the own wealth that he earns from this deal and potential partners that are located in Saudi and other parts of the Middle East. And most importantly, he can still come back to Europe at 39 or 40 at the end of this contract, and he might even have a clause in his current contract that says he can come back after a year or a year and a half. Just look at Zlatan at AC Milan, right? So it's not over for CR7 in the UCL for all the fans out there, and I'm sure we will see him back in Europe at some time. So it's not all doom and gloom. Now that we understand why Ronaldo made this move, let's look at the new side, Al-Nassr, and how they play. In the 22-23 season, Al-Nassr are sitting in second place with 23 points in 10 games. They are just 2 points behind Al-Shabaab in first place, and they have some great players from Europe that you may recognize. We start with Vincent Aboubakar, who used to play for Porto, Anderson Talisca, who used to play for Benfica, and he is their best player by far this season with 9 goals in just 10 games. And since joining last year, he has 29 goals in 36 games. So that tells you about the quality of this guy versus the rest of the league, right? We have Luis Gustavo, who used to play for Bayern, Wolfsburg, and Marseille. And obviously David Ospina, who used to play for Arsenal as the backup goalkeeper. They are coached by Rudi Garcia, who is a French manager, and he's managed some huge teams in the past. Most recently, Lyon from 2019 to 2021, and Marseille for 3 years before that. And I believe Luis Gustavo used to play for him at Marseille. In 10 games this season, Garcia has used 4-4-2 4 times and a 4-2-3-1 6 times. Let's analyze both formations and talk about possession stats and where CR7 could potentially fit in. Before we get into the two formations and how Ronaldo will fit in, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Your support means so much to me, so please subscribe to the channel to catch more content like this. So Rudi Garcia deployed a 4-4-2 in the first 4 games of the season, and their most successful win was against Al Batin on September 15, 2022. Even though they started in a 4-4-2, they played a 2-4-1-3 in possession with Amri and Gonzalez as the 2 center backs holding really high on the halfway line, Gustavo and Sulaim as the 2 CDMs just in front of them, fullbacks holding high and wide. There's 2 wide men, Najee from midfield on right wing, and Garib, who started as the second striker on the left wing, and the 2 main men in the center, Aboubakar and Talisca. The goal of this team is to get overloads on the wings, so Najee and Ghanam will get overloads here, with Gustavo helping as needed. Garib and Konan will get overloads on the left-hand side, with Sulaim and Talisca helping as needed, actually Talisca helping on both sides. And they try to cut the ball back for Aboubakar and Talisca to finish it off, right? And they also win a lot of free kicks in dangerous areas, so Talisca can capitalize on those. But the goal is to cut the ball back and create a lot of penalty box chances. And Ronaldo at this time in his career is exactly that. He's a penalty box striker. So for him to get into this team, most likely Talisca will have to move out to the left wing or the right wing, and Najee or some midfielder or a defender will drop out of the team, and Ronaldo will start over here so that maybe Garib plays on the right wing instead of the left wing. Working with Konan on this side, and Garib will work with Ganam on this side to again create a lot of penalty box chances, and Ronaldo will pounce on them with ease. There's not a lot of quality outside like the top 4 or 5 clubs in the Saudi league, so I expect Ronaldo to get easily 20 goals a season, maybe even 30 in this league. Let's see what happens. Next, let's look at the 4-2-3-1 formation that Rudi Garcia used in the next 6 games. Their most difficult game this season came against Al-Hilal just 4 days ago, where they drew 2-2. And Al-Hilal is the defending champions. They've won the championship the last 3 seasons and also the most successful team in MBS Pro League history. So Rudi Garcia opted to go with this 4-2-3-1 that played more as a 4-4-2 in possession, with Abubakar and Talisca playing as the 2 strikers, Al-Nassr and Ahmad right in behind them in the left and right midfield positions, Gustavo and Al-Kaberi playing as the 2 pivots, and the fullbacks overlapping on occasion when needed, and also playing more defensive when needed, depending on what the game called for. Obviously, the center backs would be a little bit higher as well. In this game, the main reason to play a bit more defensive was that they knew the other team is much higher quality than the previous opposition that we analyzed, and they also didn't want to get hit on the counter very easily. So in a game like this, where I see Ronaldo fitting in is as one of these 2 strikers. This time, I think he will have to replace one of them to fit Ronaldo in, right? So most likely Abubakar will drop out of the team and Ronaldo will play, because as little defensive contribution as Talisca and Abubakar give you, with Ronaldo, a 37-year-old Ronaldo, you'll get even less defense from him, right? So you will need more bodies in the team that will do their own work so that they can carry Ronaldo's lack of defensive output, right? And probably Al-Nassr will have to play a bit more narrow in midfield on the left-hand side, so the right-hand side of the team can provide more width to them and put in crosses for Ronaldo. In this formation as well, the key will be to utilize Ronaldo as that penalty box striker, with Talisca playing maybe right just in behind him, trying to link up the play, put in crosses, put in those cutbacks that Ronaldo can get at the end of, and like I said earlier, score 20 to 30 goals a season. To wrap it up, Al-Nassr are one of the top 4 or 5 teams in this league, and in most games they'll have a lot of possession and create a lot of chances inside the penalty box. So to occupy this area, they have the perfect man in world football as Ronaldo to get lots of goals when the balls are put in here. Obviously headers, he still has a Tinner Salmon leap, so we can expect him to score lots and lots of goals. In games where they'll play against those top 3 or 4 teams, he will have to play a bit more defensive, but they'll still have enough possession to get Ronaldo into the game, right? So I expect him to start every single game that he is fit, and I expect him to get 20 or 30 goals in any full season that he plays. So let me know in the comments down below how many goals you think he can score this season. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.